All right, here back after the remote regional this past weekend, and I did really well. I got fifth place after 8 rounds, 140-ish players, and I just wanted to go over my deck because I thought I played something kind of interesting, and I've seen a couple of the other deck lists around online and stuff like that, and I want to give my take on it. So let's just get right into it then. Oh, I guess first, shout out to the boys, the D boys. You know who you are. And then also, shout out to Sean for letting me post this on this channel, and so on and so forth. So, I played Mitsu Snake Eyes. I ended up going against Clear World, bunch of Ryziel Mitsurugi, a White Forest player, a Gem Knight, going second player who actually ended up winning the whole event. His deck list is crazy. I had no idea what his cards did, but he wiped the floor with me. And then I played against a branded player for like the different matchups that I played. It was like three Ryzo Mitsurugi and then one of the other ones. And yeah, my final record was 6-1-1. I had a draw against the Mermail player I was playing against, and yeah, let's just get right into the deck profile. So, oh yeah, my one loss was to the Gem Knight guy who ended up winning the whole thing. So yeah, let's get into it. So we were playing Mitsu Snake Eyes, so we'll start with the Mitsu cards because they're the most important because these cards are really good. So we got 3 Ritual Spell. Hard opening this card feels like a life hack. Going second, it's amazing to have in your hand to push into boards. This deck actually plays really well going second, which can help a lot in this format. So just being able to have like full engine hands and being able to actually win going second is really nice. And that's also in part due to the second best card in this list, which is Prayers, or arguably even the best card in the game right now. Prayers is insane card. Yeah, you would never not play this card at 3, like in any of these lists whatsoever. Then, since the new set came out, we can now play pre-prep. So we have 3 pre-prep and the 1 mirror. These cards are really good. Mirror, I missed the trigger to put it back in my deck so many times, which I should get better about. But because mirror is in your deck, you have so many more lines, especially under the Molchamis, to end on a board where you just have like Futsu on the board and you can just start reviving guys on their turn to basically ensure that you don't die, and then on the following turn you can kind of push through their board with the engine that you've accrued through this deck has insane follow-up. So mirror is really cool. I should be better about the trigger on Grave to put it back in my deck because that definitely can come up, especially if you draw a second pre-prep. So definitely got to remember that in the future. But card's really, really good. For the monsters, we're playing only 1 Murakumo. This might change because 2 would be nice, I think. But I was only playing 1. 1 Futsu. Also, incredible card. I think that's what makes Pure Mitsu so good, is this card just being able to be like unkillable after you make your turn 1 board, no matter like how weak or wide or strong it is. Like as long as this is on your field or you have a prayer set and this is in your graveyard to summon back, you're probably living to the next turn. It's super hard for Ryziel to get rid of this card too, especially if you like establish it in like a simplified game state. So this card is just really, really, really strong. And then speaking of really strong rituals, you play 3 of the new Habakiri. Card's crazy. The 1 card starter of the deck. Basically, all of your copies over here get you to this card to start your plays. And then your plays revolve around the 4 little guys. So we got 1 each of the small Mitsurugis and then also the 1 serpent. And the serpent is very important in this deck, giving you an extra level 4 body for free, essentially. And that comes in really handy when you're doing your Snake Eye combos and stuff like that. And I'll explain that in a little bit in the extra deck. So this is the Mitsu lineup. Like I said, probably maybe 1 more Murakumo might be ideal, but this is basically the stock standard Mitsu lineup for the pure deck. Except for we are not playing the tribute or the quick play spell. They might be considerations in the future, but I just don't. I really like how this deck is like very few bricks, and I kind of want to keep it that way. So next, here's the Snake Eye portion of the deck. We got 1 Ash, 1 Poplar, 1 Oak, and 1 Flamberge. That's it. This is the small little Snake Eye package that you run. Basically, if you see any of these 3 names as your only normal summon, you can most likely play the Snake Eye half of your deck. Even Poplar and by itself can get you into combo if you have another monster on the board, which the Mitsu cards can just put bodies on the board. So being able to play with those bodies, even if they get stopped, is super useful with these cards especially. And then you have the 3 spells, the 1 field spell, 1 bonfire, and 1 for 1. Just having 2 extra strong spells in your deck can really come up in some games where you get hand trapped a bunch. Having these 2 really good extenders really helped you push through multiple hand traps and stuff like that. So especially 1 for 1, being that since if your Habakiri gets stopped, it's a monster that stays in your hand that can no longer be used, and it's a very easy pitch for a 1 for 1 or something like that. So that's kind of a little bit where the synergy for these cards comes in, is mostly just because you can make rank 4s really easily with your Mitsu cards, and then they play really well with the Snake Eye cards themselves. The other main reason I am playing the Snake Eye cards in this list is for one specific card in particular, and that's Impulse. Ryziel Mitsurugi cannot play Impulse. Mitsurugi Fiendsmith cannot play Impulse. Impulse is the best hand trap this format. I'm pretty I in my opinion, I think this is the best hand trap this format. And if Mitsu can play it, then whatever version of Mitsu you're playing should be playing Impulse, because this card is insane. Being able to set it or keep it in your hand going first. I was very foolish a lot of the games that I was playing, and I just didn't leave this in my hand turn 1, and I would set it thinking oh, the restriction might come up. No, you should leave this in your hand always, and it will definitely come up in certain scenarios. So Impulse was the whole reason that this deck was I wanted to put this deck together, and it's the main focus point, I guess, for this deck. Next, we have the 9 Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Yeah, I don't know. If you draw one of these cards at least going second and it is resolved, you're looking pretty good. Like I was saying before, though, Mitsu has really strong going second capabilities, especially with Murakumo just being a Raigeki that you can chain block. But drawing any number of these cards can really help your going second game. Also, the Molchis being level 4s is also quite nice. If you set up Night Sword Serpent or any of the other Mitsu cards in your line and you haven't used your normal summon yet, you can normal summon this to make a rank 4, which comes up, and I did a couple times during the tournament. So, I mean, they're the best non-engine right now to stop the best decks. So, and then last we have the 2 going first cards, Talents and Called By. I didn't see Talents, but I did see Called By once or twice, and I never stopped hand traps with it. All I did was use it going second, or just negating random stuff going second. Against the White Forest guy, I negated the fusion Azamina that tributes itself to Omni Negate, and I Called By it and allowed my Murakumo Raigeki to resolve, which won me the game on the spot. So I don't think I ever used Called By for any hand traps or anything like that. Sometimes I would even set it going first. So yeah, Called By is just really good all around. And then I Talenced, I think, one person going first, and that resulted in me winning the game. It was just he Molchi, Talents, look at hand, rip starter. He had 2 other Molchis in his hand, and as I activated it, he activated another one, even though my hand barely played as it was. I just looked at his hand, took the Habakiri out of his hand, and that was that. And it was just an easy game. So it is kind of a free win button sometimes, which I'm not the biggest fan of in the game, but going second, it's really strong. So I'll let it stick around. Next is the extra deck. So the cool thing also about this version of Mitsu is that since in regular Mitsu you don't need your extra deck whatsoever, you just get to play the full Snake Eye extra deck with even more tech cards, which is really cool. So we have the regular Snake Eye stuff, Anima, Hida. I was also playing Dark just because you do have the Mitsu cards being easy Dark access, and there's a lot of really good dark monsters that you can steal using dark right now, so it's a really good card to have. The IP into SP. I was playing some other targets for IP, which I'll come up in a second here. Next, you probably have one of the most broken parts that Snake Eye can do, which is the Zelantis OTK. Being able to push through boards and then resolve this OTK to just win the game, no matter they could have like however many cards they want in their hand, but they're just dead because this combo kills through like 3-4 monsters. And background, this is like one of the craziest OTKs in the game, and it's just like very consistent as well if you can just put some bodies on the board. So another big reason why I like the Snake Eye cards in this deck is because you can do this. Like, it doesn't matter their follow-up because they'll be dead. I was playing Goddess as like an extra IP target, because if you have IP plus Futsu on the board during the end board that I was going for, you could very easily go into Goddess using the Mitsu names that you bring back off of Futsu, and not a lot of people were expecting this. I think I summoned it like twice, but it's a good card, and I think it had applications. I just didn't see those applications like in the games that I played, but I like it. I don't think I would get rid of it. And next, the best card in the Snake Eye engine, Doom Dragon. This card's crazy. I definitely should only be playing one of it. I only need one of it, but going second, it's broken. Going first, it's how you combo. It's really, really good. I don't really need to explain, I think, why it's incredibly good. Just being able to move your Snake Eye monsters out of your graveyard, or out of your back row into your graveyard, just sets up so many Promethean lines where you can just do the full combo. Also, the craziest reason to use it, I'll explain in a second, is with actually the next card in the extra deck here, which is Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep is like the best card in this extra deck for like a multitude of reasons. And it's funny because it's an earth monster, which means it contradicts with Impulse, but it's mostly for the going first combo. So yeah, Cross Sheep is crazy, and I'll explain after the deck profile like a little like what I was doing most of the day, and you'll see kind of why. Next, I had Dynamundo for IUP. Also, you can just make it going second, and it works out really well. It's a great removal. Next, Photon Lord. Pretty easy to make, just using some like extra rank 8s that you have, like Doom Dragon and like Murakumo. While you have Futsu on the field, you can just set this up as like another point of interaction. And then finally, the card that throws it all together, Banshee. I summoned this card so much, and I resolved it so much, and every single time it resolved, people were like, oh, he's going to get Ice or X or something like that, but he's like used his normal summon, or like I have a level 8 on the board, so it doesn't do anything, and I was like, I'll just grab Poplar, and they're like, huh? So being able to resolve that multitude times today was really fun, because people really weren't expecting it. Like if you see a Banshee come down, you're mostly thinking Ryzeal, but if you're thinking Ryzeal and you see that they've already used their normal summon, they also don't have a level, like they have a monster other than a level 4 on the field, they're like, oh, what are they grabbing? Like Nemesis cards with no banished cards? Like, I don't care about this. And then you search Poplar and you do the whole thing, and it's pretty good. It's more than pretty good. I think it's really, really strong. So Banshee MVP also looks gorgeous. Great card. I'm just glad I get to play around with it. So that's the extra deck. Side deck is a little wonky because I just wanted to play like fun cards and also just like cards that I think were good. It was a remote regional too, so I expected like some like stun matchups and stuff like that that are just a bunch of bullshit. Which I only saw the one Clear World, which was basically a stun deck, and so I don't know. Some of it was helpful, some of it wasn't. We had the back row hate, so we got Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, Thrust. Thrust also doubles going first as well. I usually sided it in so I could set impulses, or also set the Mitsurugi Trap card, which is a really good going first option in this deck. So Thrust was really good. I resolved Feather Duster once or twice, and it was always good. A lot of back row this format, and you can force out a lot of it with either one of these cards. So very nice there. Next, we had the going first package for all the Molchis. So we had the Mitsurugi Prayers. I was playing Judgments. I think I might take more of a Josh Schmidt approach and just turn these into like different hand traps instead of the Judgments, because I feel like that might be better. But Judgment was fine. It's just a good card. I think it's better than Strike right now. There's a lot of really powerful spells in the game, and also a lot of people are playing Breakers going second a little bit, depending on the deck you're playing. So Judgment felt really good. I liked it. And then 2 Ash Blossom. Ash on the side, it should be 3. I'm not really quite sure what I want to do with my side deck yet, but I'll figure it out soon. But Ash on the side, I never missed it. I don't really care. It really only helps you when you're going first. Beat the Mulchies, like that's all. It doesn't really stop anything else, I guess. So it's like best in the side deck for right now, which is kind of weird to say. I mean, I also don't have Imperm in my deck. It's like I haven't played a deck without Imperm and Ash in it in a long time. So I actually think that's really cool. I like how like these more like board breaky, like big impactful hand traps are coming down to like stop people from just like FTKing you. I kind of like that. So I find it interesting. I find it cool. Next we got the Malice Hate, 2 Meows, 3 Lancia. I never played a single Malice. I haven't played Malice in a long time, but this is just for that matchup. I guess they're good in theory. So, and then the last card, best card in the deck, 1 Kurara. You can search it off Snake Eye Ash, so I put it in going second sometimes if it's like good in the matchup, and sometimes you can really like catch people off guard with it, because if you make Banshee and you search Poplar and you do that, or like normal summon Ash or Oak into Ash or whatever you want to do, a lot of people like pop the Ash with like Detonator or like try and like blow up the board with Murakumo and stuff like that, just to like get Ash off the field, but instead of like searching Poplar and then just like running into a board with like basically nothing left over, you can search out Kurara and then tribute over their board and sometimes even attack for like game, because you can tribute over a lot of guys. So I used it once. Was the only time where I saw it or had the opportunity where it would have worked out, and it was against one of my Ryzeal Mitsu matches where I had mulchied him and he had ended on a Detonator plus the Murakumo and the Quick Play set, and I was just playing into his board, and eventually he gets to a point where he's used his Cross, he's used his Murakumo negate, so I'm like free to like play and just playing into the Detonator a little bit, and he's like saving his pops because he wants to make sure that they get the most amount of value out of him. And I remember I had summoned Snake Eye Ash. I had Bonfire in my hand, searched Ash, normaled Ash, and he had thought about it. Didn't decide to pop it, which I thought was kind of odd. But he had already activated Detonator earlier on my Murakumo to put it back in the graveyard, so it wasn't just like a lingering guy sitting around. So I searched out Kurara and to just tribute it over as 2-mat Detonator. And then that was all he had left. So I was just able to like Ash for Poplar, get the field spell up, make Doom Dragon, put his Murakumo in the back row, do the Zealand, like it was really, it came up like clutch like one time. I think it's like worthwhile. I think it's an interesting card to consider right now. It does tribute, which is kind of weird into some of the Mitsu cards, but if you can like force them to like use Futsu and bring back all the little guys and the Murakumo and like use the board wipe and stuff like that, you can like easily tribute like 4 or 5 monsters, and then this is like just OTK. And during the end phase, you can bring back a Detonator, you can bring back a Murakumo, you can bring back Futsu, because like, yeah, all those cards are really good. A White Binder or whatever you want to do. It's interesting, so I'm a fan. And that's the deck profile. 40 cards. Wanted to keep it at 40. I don't think going over 40 right now is the best idea, since you need to see one of those like 9 hand traps to like even have a chance. So stayed at 40 and wouldn't change that for anything. So let me go quickly over like a little bit of like the combo and thought process. I'm not going to do the combo right here because